how to get involved in this kind of startup world and bring innovation and digital therapeutics as part of their portfolio. We now have a presentation from Sophie Park, who's the Chief Strategist for G4A from Bayer. Hopefully it's a pre-recorded video that she did for us a few weeks ago, and they're one of our sponsors for the European Health Tech Innovation Week.
Hello, Giant Health. My name is Sophie Park. I am the Chief Strategist for Bayer G4A, and we're very excited to be here today. Also, thank you to the Giant Health organizers for such an awesome event. We're very excited to be here, and I'll jump right in and start. I'm going to talk to you today about the future of collaboration between corporates and digital health startups. Before we begin, I wanted to give you a little bit of a background on who we are at Bayer G4A and what we do. So we're a team out here that works with digital health startups and companies in the ecosystem. We have a vision to bring health for all through digital health. We do this by scaling digital health to create impact, empower lives, and change the experience of health. And what you will notice throughout some of these slides is that our true mission and vision are ingrained in the 3 pillars of equity, access, and sustainability in healthcare. So what do we do? In a nutshell, we are the bridge between the digital health ecosystem and innovators with teams at Bayer. We offer commercial partnerships, co-creation, M&A, large investments. We also look at early stage acceleration and investments. We've been doing this within the digital health landscape for almost 10 years now. So we've seen quite a bit happen. I also want to mention that, Bayer G4A focuses on people-centered and personalized solutions. So what does that really mean? Here you sort of see the biopharmaceutical value chain. You have the drug manufacturing, you have distribution, and you have the dispensing. Here we add sort of like the people-centered solutions. So underneath you have the digital health segments and verticals that you see here. You have operations and care management. You have omics, personalized medicine. This is like the CRISPR technology. But where G4A really focuses on is the people-centered personalized solutions, and I will get to what I mean by that towards the end of my talk here. But to define that briefly, it's virtual health solutions and tools, mobile digital health. This is digital therapeutics, personalized health tools. We also have biometrics and wearables, health information tools such as search services. This is scheduling, patient engagement software. This is also telemedicine, what we are all very familiar with as of recently. Briefly on some of our collaborations to give an idea, we truly believe that collaborations start small and collaborations start at an eye level. So we've partnered with Blackford Analysis. They are actually a platform that is able to access and quickly analyze a variety of medical imaging. We partnered with Blackford recently through our radiology teams. And really what we are trying to do here is to build products and solutions with their AI imaging systems to better serve our radiology customers and patients. For Sidekick, they are a gamified behavior change platform. And they really are designed to help users manage and prevent chronic and lifestyle related conditions. So Sidekick actually recently entered a partnership with us. They came through one of our tracks. They are working with our patients with peripheral arterial disease, and we actually initially ran a pilot in Sweden, which was very successful. So now we are looking at expanding this collaboration. So this just gives you an idea of who we are as Bayer G4A, where we come from, the people we work with. Now I want to take you. So what is the future of collaborations, whether it's with corporates, whether it's with pharma? But before we begin, I want to really define what digital health means. And some of you may know, but a lot of products and solutions in the market now enter one of these verticals that you see here. So we define digital health as the convergence of technologies with healthcare, living, society, and it really enhances, and ultimately it is meant to enhance the efficiency of care delivery to make medicines and access more personalized, sustainable, and precise. So what are these verticals that we define as? Digital therapeutics. These are evidence-based therapeutic interventions for patients that are driven by high-quality software programs with or without pharmaceutical drugs. So augmenting drugs with software solutions. Diagnostics, detecting the type or the cause of a disease or the disease state based on biological and also behavioral digital biomarkers. This is where that comes in. Patient monitoring, patient parameters repeatedly or continuously for the purpose of guided care decisions. Also a part of collecting digital biomarkers. We have HCP engagement, provides access to information, resources to healthcare professionals with the aim to really optimize care and also care workflows. We have drug development standard for a pharmaceutical company. This, digital health and drug development, it really contributes to optimizing research and clinical trial processes for the faster and more efficient and effective development of drugs. We also have business decision support tools. So what these digital health tools do, they guide planning, execution of business operations based on insights from a variety of stakeholder activities and behaviors. So when I say digital health, we all know that any kind of company in digital health, whether you're a startup, whether you're an established company, whether you're public or private, you will fit into one of these categories. So this is how we define it. It's fairly broad. I want to take you through sort of what the market has seen, because it is really important to understand where collaborations will go in the future. So as we see on the left side, we have digital health investment funding that is growing exponentially. You see the navy blue as the US and the green as Europe. So understandably, the US is a huge and booming market. We literally saw an exponential growth from just 2019 to 2020 and now capping at about $14+ billion just in investment funding in the US for digital health startups. In Europe, we see more of a, steady growth, but there is still a huge growth. And now we have, the different regulatory aspects coming in within the EU, especially for Germany. And we do see that there is potential here and that there is a very steady growth. So some of the market drivers that we've seen so far that actually kind of relate back to where these growth factors are coming from. Everyone knows the COVID-19, right? It really shed a huge light on a lot of inefficient practices within traditional health and care delivery. We really saw that health systems, not only in the US, because everyone tends to talk about the US, but worldwide, that were affected by, whether they were huge inefficiencies or small inefficiencies, but everyone was affected. And now we saw that data becomes really essential for healthcare stakeholders. So healthcare processes are becoming more digitized to streamline operations, to drive prices, and to enhance treatments, right? And so we're seeing a lot more data play. And I know big data has been, in conversation for a long time, but tangibly, we were able to see that in this past year. And the most important aspect of it all was the consumerization of healthcare. So we recently saw services that really aim to help not only patients, but people navigate this healthcare system, navigate their own health, and to empower people to be more aware of the services that they will be taking in through health. And it emphasizes really features such as the ease of use and also personalization. So we've seen these main three categories, and I can go on about these as huge market drivers for where healthcare is going in the future. So taking you back about 3, even 4, 5 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago, there was a lot of assumptions about where digital health trends were taking and influencing pharma collaboration. So we had, advanced sensor, AI technology. We had adoption of telemedicine, virtual assistants. I mean, we saw that actually happened last year, right? Now telemedicine is becoming more of an operational feature in healthcare rather than some shiny digital health platform. So it's becoming more operational now, more adopted by people and insurers and hospital providers. And now we see more increasing horizontal integration along treatment pathways, and it was supposed to erase silos. But again, these trends from a couple of years ago, this one, is kind of, there's still a little more work to be done. They also said that we'll see a huge rise of digital therapeutics. This was like 5 years ago. They also said, experts said, patients will increasingly act as decision makers while, the regulators push for digital innovations. Now we're seeing it's not just patients, it's people. It's healthy people who are increasingly more aware of the health decisions that they can make and are being more empowered to take control of their lives. And what it correlates with healthcare. So what does this really mean? So we've seen over the last couple of years, massive tech giants going into healthcare. We've seen increasing partnerships and investments, right? With big pharma, with large digital therapeutic companies, with data companies. And then we saw new modes of business and new business models, like Novartis and Pear Therapeutics, right? In their digital therapeutics for schizophrenia. And all of these deals were announced in the last couple of years. But now I want to take you to the present. So what are the realities of digital health? And digital health is also seeing a very awakening in these times. So tech giants and digital health, we've seen that no matter how big of a company you are, there will always be challenges in navigating a very unique to its own market, aka healthcare ecosystem, right? It is, we fully understand, even as a pharmaceutical company and even as Vergifore, we have seen a lot of these collaborations. And I know a lot of people were, at the edge of their seats, very excited to see, but here's the reality of it, right? The Verily project with the diabetes detecting contact lens, that went on for the longest period of time. And it was sort of a flop. Watson stopped with drug discovery and research. The most recent, Haven, right? The Amazon, Berkshire, and JP Morgan venture stopped after a couple of years. And we realize now that healthcare is such a complex and intricate system that, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how big of a company you are. Ultimately, if you don't have what it takes to scale in this kind of a system, it's not going to happen. We see high valuations and high expectations. So there is an exponential growth in the investment market right now, and these valuations are off the charts. It is the highest valuations that we've seen in digital health in a very long time. But what does that mean, right? We have digital health companies filing for bankruptcy recently in the last couple of years. Proteus is a very good example. Castlight got a new CEO in the last couple of years, but they were kind of the first star digital health company to go IPO, but now their shares are at $1 a piece, right? And it really goes to also show that even as a successful public company or a successful startup getting these investments, what do these valuations really mean in terms of potential future collaborations? And what does this mean for the future of partnerships within healthcare? And then you have the new modes of business, new business models. There's always challenges in establishing efficacy, the expertise, and the commercialization of digital health companies. And now it's the question of who will be the first to successfully commercialize a digital health product, right? You saw the recent deal with Novartis in pair therapeutics, right? They sort of closed the envelope on that. You also have a lot of failures of like this hospital-centric models versus kind of the analog of healthcare. We still see that a lot of areas within health are still very much analog based. And yes, we have made some big strides for regulatory, right? There are new bodies being set up. But again, we have still a lack of multidisciplinary even in the technical scientific committees, right? I mean, it's great to have scientists who've had 30 years of R&D experience, but for AI, they don't even have anyone sitting there that's, a process engineer, right? I mean, as simple as that. Or anyone with any kind of digital health expertise for that matter. So it'll be really interesting to see what direction this takes for the future. Now I wanted to focus on, so let's look forward now. What do we believe as G4A, as, who will be the most successful coming out now in digital health? And really, we believe that companies that are able to focus on integrated care and integrated care within the focus of care or delivery of care will be the most successful companies that come out in potential collaborations. So we actually have a team set up that really, how do we define integrated care? And it's really it's products, solutions, platforms, it's digital health companies that are solving current healthcare problems, not just for patients, but for people, for providers, for payers, and really addressing health challenges longitudinally throughout an individual's life journey, which is also impacted by social determinants of health. We have to realize that, again, as I mentioned, doesn't matter how big you are, doesn't matter how much money you have, if you cannot address the very intricacies of how healthcare works in not only the US, but around the world. This truly has to do with social determinants of health. If you cannot do that, then it'll be very difficult to succeed, to scale and commercialize any kind of collaboration or partnerships. So what are these social determinants of health? These are determinants that are external factors that really have a huge actual sort of foundation on how care is delivered in various areas of the world. This has to do with education access and quality. This has to do with healthcare and the quality of the health and care people receive, the neighborhoods that are built around them and the environments that are there, right? Do you have, 2 7-Elevens or do you have 4 Whole Foods in a block? That matters. Social and community contexts are huge. And also, last but not least, one of the most important factors, economic stability. So these are the determinants that really factor into how people consume, but also experience health. And now comes digital health platforms and solutions. So what are we looking for, at least, and what we believe is the future of digital health is to become a more integrated platform and a solution that we offer to people, whether that's cognitive behavioral therapy, whether that's disease management, lifestyle prevention, patient healthcare literacy, huge, care management, and also appointment scheduling. And I know a couple of these are already integrated now, as I mentioned, telemedicine, telehealth. It was, a lot of insurers already reimburse that. And now it's becoming an integral part of workflow across various, hospital providers and also payers as well. And people are more, a lot more people are, adopting that kind of utility. So what we really believe is, collaborations will happen when successful collaborations happen when companies really do look at the outer line factors of how health and care is delivered. So the digital health outlook and what that means, right? So what are the trends that we're seeing? And for us, we now see that there's more digital health consumer products in the market. And we've already seen that. It's already happening as of last year and in prior years, but it's happening now. There's heightened user awareness of healthcare post-pandemic. It's going to drive a lot more user engagement. This is where brand recognition and consumer trust is paramount to growth. I mean, let me just say, last year, healthcare did not have its shining moment. Let me keep it that way. And really, when it comes to digital products and solutions, there are so many other factors of trust that go into building a successful digital health company. We're going to see more outcomes-based digital health. So, digital health is grown up now. Investors are no longer looking at a good idea anymore. We're looking for solutions that directly impact the outcomes of health in certain therapeutic areas. So are investors. There's going to be an increasing importance of clinically validated digital health solutions, and that's quite evident. Interoperability and adoption is the next key sort of trend that we'll see coming out of a lot of these partnerships. Now these larger collaborations and partnerships are going to focus on the integrated care aspect. Interoperability will be prioritized. Products will be more personalized. It'll be direct consumer solutions, and they will launch at scale through providers and payers. So, some of the more obvious aspects for what to expect in terms of partnerships and collaborations will be joint ventures, investments, and co-creation. Two most important: joint ventures and co-creation. Now large companies are, again, as you saw before, doesn't matter how big you are, doesn't matter how small you are, if you do not understand the intricacies of a health care system, you will not be able to scale. Right? And so a lot of the partnerships that we will see moving forward will be in the form of either joint ventures or co-creation opportunities with companies. That'll foster more higher pace of growth for the innovative companies within digital health. And companies will definitely need to scale together, right? It'll no longer be, one big company trying to scale a small company. It'll be a really kind of eye level sort of partnerships that we see that are going to probably come out of the digital health landscape now. And so with that, I hope, there's some exciting times ahead, and the time for digital health is now. As we've seen more and more people adopt to the technologies that are out there, it's quite an exciting space to be in. And so this is where I will end it. I will end it on a high note. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today and joining myself. This is how you can actually stay connected. G4A.health. We are actually looking for potential partners now, so head over to the website. We are looking for partners within, cardiovascular, cardiometabolic diseases, women's health, and also oncology. So if you have a solution that focuses on a variety of topics, especially social determinants of health, but really, sustainably giving access and improving outcomes, then we definitely want to partner with you. So if you have any further questions, you can always email us at info.g4a.